Have you ever wondered why some variables methods in Java is declared as static while others are not? What's the difference and why does it matter? In this video on Tech Unbox with Anas, we'll break down static, non-static members, variables, methods in Java with clear example. Let's dive into.
So, in this video, we will talk about the static and static members, static keyword, static variables, and static method or characteristic of a static variables, method, and initializer, and static block. So, let's discuss one by one. Static and static members. Static is it is a keyword. It is also known as a modifier. If any members of a class prefix with static keyword, then it is known as a static. The static members, also known as a class member. The static variables, if a variable's prefix with static keyword and it's created within the class block, then it is known as a static block. Means if your variables is annotated with the static in a is considered as a static variables or class variable. So as you can see here example, if you are writing your variable inside the method that annotated with the static is annotated with the static. Uh, Let me do that. Okay. So the thing is just if your variables is prefixed with static, but not inside the method and not inside the constructor, then only it call it as a static variables. So with the our definition is enough to understand the static variables. And if the interviewer asks these questions, you just answer same as it is with the example of this. And the next one is characteristic of static variable. So the variables, static variables can be accessed everywhere. Static variables are initialized with the default values. Static variables are accessed by using with a class name as well as by using it object reference. But if your yeah, same as it is. But if your variables is prefixed with static, then you can if you want to call that method inside the method, if you call that variable inside the method, okay, then you don't have to call with the class using class or object in the same class. The compiler will automatically understand the uh, variable is present inside the uh, class, same class. So you can understand what I explained with the uh, Eclipse program with the program. So the next one is if the static variables and local variable has the same, then static variable can be referred by using it class name. So the priority of the static variables, you know now. So that's so so let's go to the Eclipse to understand the variables and method. So let's check the example. So here that's we creating the one variables that is a static variable, static, okay, static string PM. So who's the PM of India? Okay, and just write it to Narendra Modi or just Modi. And then we need to main method to execute this. So for that, let's suppose our method name is India. Okay, uh, President of India. I am the India. Okay. So the shortcut of the creating the method of the President of India, you just write the name and end with semicolon, and just mouse over here. See, create your method. So here we creating the method that is, let's suppose, not private, public, static void President of India, and I just write it here. Sys out PM PM. So our program is done. Let's run it, and then we'll see what will happen. So as you can see here, the Modi is painted. Okay, our uh, president of India is Modi. Okay, but the thing is, as you can see here, the our method is not calling by the object, even not calling by the India. How it does? So why? Because if your method present inside the same class, the method is static and present in the same class, you don't have to call with the India. If you are calling with the India, that is your class name, so it also works. But you don't need to, or you don't worry about the calling by the object or class name. So I am also confusing when we working with it with this program. Then if you want to call that method with the another class, let's say this is my main class, India main, and I want to call that method. So the method name is President of India, Control C, Control V, and then with some. As you can see here, we will get the see method President of India is undefined for the type of India name. So if you want to call that method, then you need a class name India dot President of India, President of India. See, the error is gone, and now it's run it. Yeah, we will get the module in the calling the another class. Or you can also use the object to call your method or variables. So let's create the variables. India I is equal to new India, and yeah, created the variables and I dot president of India. Run it again. You will see the two Modi is printed. So that's all about in the example of the static variables, how it works. For your understanding, I just write one comment here. Uh, comment is this okay. See, in the same class, calling a static method does not require the class name because Java automatically assumes it. So basically, this variables reference represent belongs to India, means your class level of variables. It is static variables. So that's all about in this video. Next video, We will discuss the example of the methods, static method. Third, if the method is prefixed with static, then it is known as a static method. Example of static is, as you can see here, public static void method. So as you can see here, our method is annotated as static. That is why it considered as a static method. When the compiler know it is the static method, so don't worry about the anything. The class level executions will be happen. The characteristic of static method is a static method can be called by using its class name or by using object reference. A static method is considered as a members of a class. Okay, one second. So, but see, the first one is a static method can be called by using its class name or by using the object reference. But the thing is, if your method is present in the same class, and you have to call that method, if you want to call that method in the same class, then you don't need to call by using its class name or the object reference. That is the beauty of the Eclipse. So you will understand when I'm discussing with the example a program of static method. And the second one is you know that the static method is considered as a members of class. So the static initializer and static block. So if a block prefixed with static and it's created with the class block, then it is known as a static initializer and static block. A static block executed only once before the main method. So you will understand how it works. If a class contains multiple static blocks, then it is executed from top to the bottom. This is the characteristics of our static initializer and static block. A static block are non-callable methods. Means, see here the example of the static block. This is the static and the block of the static. If you want to call this is the static block outside the class or another class, you cannot call that because this static block is don't have any name, just like the method have name. But the static blocks don't have a name. That's why we can't call that block. That is why it is called it as a static block are non-callable method. If a class contains multiple static blocks, then it is executed from top to the bottom. See, here we just discussed about the static block and static method. Okay. So the first discuss about the static block. See, this is the static block. If I want to call this block, it's not possible. This out. Hello. If I want to call this method by using class name or object reference, it won't be possible. Run it, it will not run because the main method is not there. Let's establish the main method. Okay, now the main method is there, means it will be executing with the class level of execution. Hello will be printed. So what I'm saying exactly is if I want to call this hello to the another class, okay, if I want to call this inside of suppose static main is our class name, and if I want to call that static block inside of this class, it won't be possible. So that is called a static block are non-callable method. Let's take some example of static method. So first one is in class we have a static block hello. One more is there. Let's copy this and paste it here and write it hi. And the inside of main method, let's write one word is out and write main and run this. Yeah, we will get hello, hi, main. Why? Because the characteristics of the static, if you have a more than one static method, it will be execute top to the bottom. First, hello is executed, then hi, and then main. Let's take one more example of this, and this is static. Inside of static, we just remove this and write it here. M1. Okay, this is the method. And with simple. As you can see here, we will get the error because this method is not present in class. So we just create this method by using the shortcuts. Just mouse over here, M1, and you will get the create method. Click on the create method. Yeah, we will create that method. So that method is control X or control V. What they do, they just print the main sys out like the main. Okay, and I want to call this method. So here you just static M1 is there. Okay, let's run this program and understand what is happening here. Run it. See, we will get the main because it will be class level of execution, starting from the uh, class level of static block. Okay, this is the first execution. So when the JVM run this program, first it will start from the main. After main, it goes to the static block and enter the static block and see there M1 is present. So it will be execute. When it will call this method, it come out this block and going to the void M1 method and print this main method. That's the way of working this static. So as you can now you can understand the static method, static variables, and characteristics of a static as well as static block. Thank you for watching Tech Unbox with Anas. Next video, we will discuss about non-static method, members, variables in Java. Before you go, let's subscribe my channel for upcoming videos.